Today we talk about self-reliance. Trust yourself.
Have you ever felt that pressure? The one to kind of sand down your edges just to fit in? It's a feeling that's as old as time, but man, it feels stronger than ever today. Well, almost 200 years ago, the great American thinker Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote this incredibly powerful essay that tackles this exact problem. So, let's dive into his radical guide for living a truly authentic life.
Right out of the gate, Emerson does not pull any punches. Wow. He opens his essay with this really shocking statement. He's not just saying, oh, imitation is bad for you. No, he's saying that every single time we copy someone else, a little piece of our unique self literally dies. It's a dramatic way to start for sure, but it forces us to ask really important questions.
And this is the central mystery we're going to unravel together. What did Emerson see in the world around him that made him believe that fitting in wasn't just some harmless social habit, but a deep, deep personal betrayal? So, to find the answer, we've got to first understand the problem as Emerson saw it. He argued that from the time we're kids, we're basically taught to look outside of ourselves for approval, for truth, ignoring the wisdom that we already have deep inside. You see, for Emerson, genius isn't about having some crazy high IQ or being a brilliant inventor. Nope, it's actually the simple, profound courage to trust your own inner voice, to speak your own truth, believing that what you feel in your heart actually holds universal value, even if nobody else agrees with you yet. That's genius. Okay, so if trusting ourselves is genius, why is it so darn hard to do? Well, Emerson argues we're up against something huge. He calls it society's conspiracy against every single one of us. This is just such a brilliant metaphor. Think about it. Emerson is comparing society to a business, a joint stock company. We all invest in it by conforming, and in return, we get a dividend, security, or what he calls bread. But the cost of that investment, it is steep. We have to give up our most valuable assets, our own individual liberty, and our unique culture. We're essentially trading our authentic selves for a comfortable membership in the club.
And here are the company's unwritten terms and conditions. The whole system rewards you for fitting in and punishes you for being self-reliant. It loves familiar names, old traditions, and it kind of hates new, challenging ideas and the people who come up with them. So the big takeaway here is that society is actively working to make us forget the genius that's inside us.
But the pressure isn't just external, right? Emerson points out two internal fears, or terrors as he calls them, that keep us in line. The first one is obvious, our fear of what other people think, their sour faces. But the second one, it's much more subtle. This is the fear of contradicting ourselves. You know how it is? We build up a reputation, a history of things we've done and said, and then we become terrified of doing anything that doesn't perfectly align with that past self. We don't want to disappoint what other people have come to expect from us. And this idea leads to one of the most famous lines in all of American literature. A hobgoblin, by the way, is like a mischievous, ugly little monster. So Emerson is saying that this obsession with never changing your mind, with being perfectly, rigidly consistent, it's just a petty fear that haunts small-minded people. So this idea creates a really clear choice. For Emerson, a little mind clings to the past, absolutely terrified of being misunderstood. But a great soul wants nothing to do with that. They know that growth requires change, and that speaking a new truth today might completely contradict what you said yesterday. And that's okay. And here is the ultimate payoff. Emerson just completely flips the script. Being misunderstood isn't a failure. It's a badge of honor. It means you're actually thinking for yourself. Think about it. All the greats, Socrates, Copernicus, Newton, they were all misunderstood in their time because they dared to be inconsistent with the path. All right, so we've laid out the problem. You've got society's conspiracy on one hand and our own internal fears on the other. But Emerson doesn't just leave us there. He offers a powerful, simple, and totally radical solution. So after diagnosing this huge, complex problem, this conspiracy of society and our own fears, you might expect some super complicated 10-step solution, right? But Emerson's answer is actually beautiful in its simplicity. It's all about a fundamental shift in where we place our trust, and that shift is the antidote to everything that holds us back. This right here, this is the core of the entire essay. That feeling, that intuition you have, Emerson calls it an iron string that vibrates inside every single heart. It's not weak, it's not flimsy. It's a strong, true connection to something profound, and it's inside every single one of us just waiting for us to listen.
And this is what living that trust looks like in the real world. It means your only real duty is to your own constitution, your own inner law. Suddenly, the opinions of the world, the expectations of others, they just become irrelevant.
Now, let's be clear, Emerson knows this path is not easy. It takes real courage. But the reward for living a self-reliant life, well, it's nothing less than true greatness and a profound sense of inner peace.
Ultimately, it just comes down to a choice that each of us has to make every single day. Are we going to live by what the world thinks, or are we going to live by what we know is true for ourselves?
And this is the real prize. It's not about becoming a hermit and shutting yourself off from the world. No way. The real goal is to be able to walk right through a crowd, to be part of society, but to still hold on to that quiet, independent integrity you feel when you're completely alone. That, my friends, is true freedom.
Emerson's final point is maybe his most powerful, especially today. Nothing can bring you peace but yourself. In our world, which is just filled with constant noise, the opinions, the expectations, the endless distractions, the challenge is bigger than ever. So the question that Emerson leaves for every one of us is this: how will you find the quiet?